30 years from now, last question for you, since you're good at imagining what the future will look like. What does America look like?
Well, we're coming to an inflection point, and I think we are in the 1977. The Carter administration, if you think about the 70s, was a major setback for the West. We had all kinds of foreign policy setbacks. You had inflation and stagflation and high unemployment and the oil crises and all the rest. And we just had what did Carter say? We had a malaise.
Yeah.
And leadership can turn it around. Just like leadership can turn a failed business around surprisingly quickly, good leadership can turn a country around. Yes, our Congress is useless and in the wrong direction, but there's a reason the Founding Fathers set it up so that every 2 years you can throw the bums out.
Yep.
Do so. The same with Senate. You can turn over a third of those senators every 2 years. The country requires leadership. And whether that's election integrity, you do that on your local basis. And if, I think the biggest problems in America stem from the fact that the federal government has gotten way too large. And I think we need to maximize the 10th Amendment, states' rights, limiting the powers of the federal government to stuff that has only been directly entitled to the federal government to do. Otherwise, it's left to the states. And so states have to be much stronger at flexing those muscles and say, no, we're not going to pay for your stupidity anymore, Washington.
That's exactly
We're doing
right.
our thing.
17 has returned, and since 17 has chosen to immortalize Cassidy Hutchinson in his context, on the surface this message appears to be a bit of an insult to Hutchinson, and also a beacon to draw attention of the Washington, D.C. establishment to this 17 concept, to remind them it's still ongoing. I received info some time ago that this man, Erik Prince, was largely responsible for the multi-year 17 post sequence that began November of 2017. A mysterious account on Twitter reached out to me early this year and referenced me to an older version of his account where he had some posts from a year prior. So here we have posts from January 8th, 2021. Back when General Flynn was active, he noted a Bible verse, Deuteronomy 6:4-9, in its timing at 8:26 a.m. as a specific message referring to several posts, 8:26 and 6:49. And so this from January 31st, 2018, timing's everything. Did you miss the most important line of the entire speech? Activation code. I heard reference to federal employees who commit crimes. Was listening for so many coded messages. Great speech. Below the part about the Capitol Dome, an exclamation mark. And then for 8:26, comms good, nice try. And the key being that this particular Twitter post by General Flynn was dated January 7, 2021, so right after the Capitol 6 event. And you have these time codes that seem to have references. This one specifically referencing the Capitol Dome, that's 649, and this one establishing that these are indeed comms. I've not really established for you the credibility of this character, Delta Joker Tango, but I will tell you now that he has conveyed himself to me to establish credibility in more ways than most I've come across in this lifetime. What's a Cabal's favorite number? 322. Now let's reverse the magic on him. 826, 649. So he does subtraction to get 223, and then he corresponds that to the post 223. Who is Betsy D, who resigned the day after Jen Flynn tweeted? Betsy DeVos. Comms good, Mr. Flynn, thank you. So then references this post from November 23rd, 2017. Who's Betsy D? Why is she relevant? Expand your thinking. So then he asks, let's look who she is related to. Just as a reminder, Betsy DeVos served as the 11th United States Secretary of Education from 2017 to 2021. She was picked by Donald Trump. Many from both the political right and left were concerned that she was of a more pro-establishment and elitist in political disposition. So then he says, let's look who she is related to. For that, we need to go one step further and look at post 224. Post 224, Betsy DeVos leads to Erik Prince, leads to POTUS. Who knows where the bodies are buried? The map is in front of you. Reread, expand your thinking, purpose for time being spent here. And so I took this particular portion, purpose for time being spent here, to suggest that this particular point about Erik Prince is possibly one of the more important points in the entire 17 post series. Holland, Michigan, U.S. Erik Dean Prince, born in '69, is an American businessman, former U.S. Navy SEAL officer, and founder of a private military company, Blackwater USA, now called Academy. He is the brother of former U.S. Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos. Who really knows where the bodies are buried? Flynn or Erik Prince, the founder of Blackwater and Academy? Watch the Water, ring a bell? And so yeah, Watch the Water is post 765. And so DJT's assertion is that this could be a calling card to suggest a link with Erik Prince, Blackwater, with the 17. A little backstory in Erik Prince. Read an article for more sauce. This is a link to 224. So we have an Intercept article, which I'll pin in the description. Notorious mercenary Erik Prince is advising Trump from the shadows. Blackwater founder Erik Prince wants Trump to revive the CIA's Phoenix assassination program. Phoenix assassination program is already like a key term to pay attention to there. So, allegedly, per this author, Jeremy Satchel, former U.S. official who has advised Trump transition told The Intercept that Prince has been advising the team on matters relating to intelligence and defense, which includes weighing in on candidates for defense and state departments. Prince's latest wife, Stacey DeLuke, posted pictures from inside Trump's campaign headquarters as Donald Trump and Mike Pence watched the results come in, including a close shot of Pence and Trump with their families. Fortunately, the pictures are on Facebook and seem to have been deleted. It's noted that Prince's sister, Betsy DeVos, gave large sums of money to the Trump super PAC. And so here we get our biased Daily Beast article about Blackwater founder getting rich off Iraq now backs anti-war Donald Trump. Try to show that there's like a conflict of interest with Erik Prince. And it looks like in this article they can't really confirm that the Eric Dean Prince who gave to the super PAC called Make America Number One is really this individual or someone else. They think it's likely him based on a donation amount and the name. Apparently he donated $100,000. His mother, Elsa Prince, also donated $50,000. Prince founded notorious private security firm Blackwater, which rose to infamy in September 2007 after its operatives gunned down 17 Iraqi civilians, including a 9-year-old boy in Baghdad's Nisour Square. And so I found this December 29, 2020 article that notes that President Donald Trump's pardon of 4 former Blackwater contractors convicted for their role in the massacre in Baghdad has sparked outrage in Iraq. The Blackwater guards include Nicholas Slatton, who was sentenced to life in prison after being convicted of first-degree murder for his role in the 2007 Nisour Square massacre, when he and other Blackwater mercenaries opened fire with machine guns and grenades on a crowded public space in Baghdad, killing 17 unarmed civilians, including women and children. The youngest victim was a 9-year-old named Ali Kanani. Ultimately, Prince sold Blackwater and now heads up a Hong Kong-based company known as Frontier Services Group. Prince has long fantasized that he is the rightful heir to the legacy of Wild Bill Donovan and his Office of Strategic Services, the precursor to the CIA. After 9/11, Prince worked with the CIA on a secret assassination program, in addition to offering former SEALs and other retired special operators to the State Department and other agencies for personal security. There's an article that supposedly alleges Prince also worked with the Chinese government, which would allow his role in the Trump presidency to be a bridging between Beijing and the White House. To not able to access the article because paywalled. And so think about now how Putin is going into Ukraine and dealing with fascism in that country. Apparently, Prince was quoted as saying, "Think about it. If FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt can deal with Stalin to defeat German fascism in World War II, certainly the United States could work with Putin to defeat Islamic fascism. We don't have to agree on everything, but we can agree that crushing ISIS in the Middle East is a very good idea." Apparently, he revealed that the DNC hacks and leaks shown the disregard, the disdain they have for the average American voter and citizen. Prince also has a close relationship with Breitbart News and Steve Bannon. The article concludes basically saying not even Trump is brazen enough to give Prince a public post in his administration, but Prince is operating in the shadows where he has always been most at home. And in this light, he kind of reminds me like Danzo from Naruto, the head and founder of the Root division of hidden ninja mercenaries in Konoha.
I am going to take both your shotgun and add them to my collection.
Okay, so back to the DJT post. Now, if you think for a second how nobody around POTUS can be trusted, then how could he have boots on the ground take care of business without bad actors acting badly and mess up the ops? If you read that the article 17 provided us, then you will see it coming together. Who could afford an outfit like this? A billionaire? Why is Erik attacked by MSM for friending at Real Donald Trump, vice versa, over their target? I think it's safe to say that when MSM attacks, the deep state has something to hide. Be sure to read this. For this New York Times paywalled article, the title is Erik Prince recruits ex-spies to help infiltrate liberal groups. You can sometimes get around the New York Times paywall by just putting the title into DuckDuckGo or Google. So Charles Pierce with the Esquire in December 9, 2020 writes this article, "There's evil and then there's Erik Prince." I don't like this substantiation of some of his accusations. Like here he puts a quote about MI6 officer Richard Seddon helping run a 2017 operation to infiltrate Michigan Office of American Federation of Teachers, but this doesn't actually get set up in an appropriate way, whatever this passage is. And there's another passage where he says, Mr. Prince appears to have become interested in using former spies to train Project Veritas operatives in espionage tactics sometime during the 2016 presidential campaign, reaching out to several intelligence veterans and occasionally using Mr. Seddon to make the pitch. Mr. Prince said he wanted the Project Veritas employees learn skills like how to recruit sources and how to conduct clandestine recordings, among other surveillance techniques. So the obvious implication is if Prince has an army of mercenary operatives who collect intelligence, this whole 17 thing could be a part of his overall operation as one of the branches of the umbrella. Okay, back to the post. What if all these MIOps being conducted around the world are actually Blackwater Academy? Some news sources have set their MI training ops. Has the MI, that's the military, admitted these claims? LA, Frankfurt, food for thought. Take it all in, but you be the judge. So if you read both articles and paid attention to the comms from General Flynn, numbers don't lie, then it is possible that 45 has been working with Erik Prince to help the squash, with the Q there, the deep state. Does Erik know where the bodies are buried since doing the CIA's dirty work for years? One more thing, the date, 1/7/21, corresponding to post 1721, and adding it together corresponding to post 29. Plus a real cool thing, 826 minus 649 equals 177. 17 stringer, 1721. How many coincidences before mathematically impossible? 1721, when does a bird sing? Keep your promise, this is not a game. Here we're in reference to Lisa Page. Post 177, keywords, confirm, green, sky. Why were keywords added in a stringer? What was the purpose? What was previously stated? To who specifically? Plus plus. Who countered? Learn to read the map. Missing critical items. Graphic is key. Ordering is critical. Okay, and here's a previous post with the graphics. I'm not sure if this is to be interpreted as a green sky. You definitely have the to who specifically. Ordering is critical. Missing critical items. Learn to read the map. And here's 29. Some things must remain classified to the very end. North Korea is not being run by Kim. He's an actor in a play. Who's a director? The truth would sound so outrageous most Americans would riot, revolt, reject, etc. The P networks are being dismantled. The child abductions for bad rituals, Haiti and other third world countries are paused, not terminated until players are in custody. We pray every single day for God's guidance and direction as we are truly up against pure evil. Then he posts 2945. Patriots in control, panic in DC. Do you think Prince might really be in charge of the informational campaign and secretly advises Trump from the shadows? Let me know what you think. I think he's someone to watch.
I have to finish things this minute.